So guys, just a quick word about migration, and hopefully this video is going to help people decide whether they should migrate somewhere or not. It's not country specific, so it doesn't matter where you're considering to move. There are certain things that you should think about before considering migration for real. Keep watching to find out if you should migrate or not. If there's anything that comes to mind first when thinking of migration, it's the language barrier. Now, I'd advise strongly against moving to any country where you don't know the language, where you're not fluent in the language, because that's the key thing here, really. If you move with poor language skills or intermediate language skills, that might still not be enough to have a success story in that country. So just always remember that language is the #1 priority. It's not something that you can learn once you get there. You have to know the language before you move somewhere, unfortunately, if you want to have some sort of success. Now, along with the language problem, I think the second biggest thing and the biggest problem is that a lot of people choose to migrate because of economical reasons, because of money, because they want to earn more or have a higher standard of life or whatever. And that is, in my opinion, a very, very bad idea, because the thing is, when you arrive somewhere, you're not going to be thinking about money anymore. You're going to be thinking about everything except for how much money you're going to make while you're there, because migration is just such a big deal and there are so many things that are unpredictable and so many feelings that you'll feel that are unpredictable. So just be aware. It's going to be a completely different world, and you'll just quickly figure out that life there might not be possible for you. And maybe you thought that, oh, it's going to be great because I'm going to be earning more. Maybe I'm going to be able to send some of that money back to my family or whatever. It doesn't work like that. And you'll never become a part of society, and you'll never feel at home there, and you're gonna miss everything and everybody, and it's just gonna be a one big fail that will result in you having to come back to your home country, and it's just gonna be a very stressful experience. Another thing that comes to mind is that I think people don't fully understand that there's a big difference between migrating alone and migrating with someone. Even if it's just your partner, it makes a huge difference, and it's going to be a completely different experience. And trust me, because I say this from my own experience, because I emigrated completely by myself, not having anyone with me and not knowing anyone in the place where I was headed to. It's going to be a lot harder. And sometimes you just think, oh yeah, I'm going to be fine on my own. I'm going to make friends when I get there. But you'd be surprised, because you might get somewhere and the only types of friends that you're going to be able to make are other immigrants, and then it's really not fun, because you can't, no matter how hard you try, you can't become part of the society. You're always surrounded by other migrants. It's just something that you have to anticipate before that happens. Now, there's one more thing that's often being overlooked, and that is whether you're planning to migrate permanently or temporarily. And that is a big deal, because if you are planning to migrate permanently, one of the main things that you need to worry about is your visa. A visa is not just some kind of formality and something that has to be done, and you just have to submit your expression of interest and some documents, and if you're not a criminal or somebody, then you should be successful. Absolutely not. So just be prepared and know that from now on, visa may become your biggest problem of all, and it might turn into an absolute nightmare, and it might take years for you to get it. And you might have to get some kind of visa first, then another type of visa, then another type of visa, and it's just it has become an extremely complicated process nowadays, extremely, and and very costly too. So we have language, we have migration purpose, not money, and we have whether you're migrating alone or with somebody. Alone can be really hard, with somebody can be a lot easier. And lastly, you have the visa, and visa is your main problem. Now, there's one more thing that I have to mention at the end, and that is just if you've never migrated anywhere and you're thinking of doing it for the first time, be aware that when you get someplace, you might realize that people from your country tend to stick together and they tend to form kind of a nation within a nation. I see that as a very negative trend. All those people that tend to stick together and form countries within countries, nations within nations, they should have never left their home countries, because clearly their reasons for emigrating were money or something along those lines. They tend to live their lives exactly the way they did back where they're from, and they tend to speak their language and work together, which allows them to speak their language while working as well. And those types of people tend to, steal the spots that could have been free for people that know the language very well, that have some kind of skills and have, and want to emigrate and want to come into that country to integrate, to be a part of the society, and to become this person that is very different from who they used to be. And I believe that those types of people should be questioned, and there should be an effort from the government or somebody, some organization, to try to determine why did they come into the country, why aren't they integrating into society, why are they there in the first place, who let them in, what for. And and it's not that I'm against migration or people mixing, races mixing, and basically the world becoming a multicultural place. But unfortunately, if you choose to move somewhere and you live your life like that, you clearly emigrated for wrong reasons. You emigrate because you want to become a different person and you want to live a different lifestyle, and you want to find new friends, and you want to become part of the society and part of the country, and you want to become you want to get citizenship, and you want to be as close as you can be to the people that were born in that country. And and it's a different thing when somebody lives a different life and then only from time to time, like once a month or something, goes to some kind of meeting or a community, whatever, and then hangs out with people from their country, and it's just nice because you can talk in your language, and it's and you can have a nice time, and but that's a different sort of story. Something like that I would support 100%, but unfortunately that's not the case, and I know because I have seen that with my own eyes, and it's just very sad, and it's very sad that those types of people are being let into the country instead of the ones that could really benefit more from migrating, and the country itself could benefit more as well. The truth is, still in the end, the decision whether you should migrate or not that is completely up to you, and it really depends on your circumstances and your background and whatever your thoughts are on the subject. But hopefully this video has helped you a little bit at least, and I'll see you soon. Bye.